What if I told you that 30 minutes of Qigong a day could actually change the way your brain reacts to stress? Welcome back to the Jade Dragon podcast, where we explore the meeting place between ancient wisdom and modern science. I'm your host, David Lloyd, and today we're diving into a fascinating study that shows just how powerful Qigong can be when it comes to emotional health. And more importantly, how it actually works in the brain. This isn't just about feeling more peaceful after practice. It's about changing the way the brain itself responds to emotional triggers. Let's take a closer look. A group of researchers in China wanted to understand whether Qigong could influence emotional regulation. To do this, they recruited 82 college students, young adults, who, like many of us, deal with pressure, distraction, and emotional ups and downs. They split the students into two groups. One group practiced Qigong every night for 30 minutes over a 4-week period. The other group didn't do anything different at all. Their job was just to carry on with their normal lives. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Before and after the 4 weeks, both groups participated in brainwave testing using something called ERP, or event-related potential. This is a technique that measures the brain's electrical activity in response to stimuli. In this case, emotional images, some pleasant, some neutral, and some very unpleasant. The researchers were especially focused on one specific signal in the brain called the late positive potential, or LPP. This is a brainwave that gets bigger when we're emotionally activated. So if an image upsets you or makes you feel something strongly, your LPP wave goes up. But if you're more emotionally balanced, more centered, that LPP signal stays smaller. After 4 weeks of Qigong, the students in the training group had noticeably lower LPP responses. Their brains weren't reacting as strongly to emotional images, whether those images were negative or even positive. It wasn't that they didn't feel anything. It was that they were more in control of what they felt. Meanwhile, the control group, those who didn't practice Qigong, showed no significant change in brain activity. So what does this mean? It means Qigong may be doing more than just helping people feel relaxed in the moment. It may actually be training the nervous system to handle emotional input with greater stability. In scientific terms, that's called top-down regulation, the ability of higher brain regions, like the prefrontal cortex, to manage and calm the emotional centers of the brain. So, what kind of Qigong were they doing? This study didn't use movement-based Qigong. Instead, it focused on guided, mind-based Qigong using visualization and breathwork. Each day, students followed an audio recording with 3 phases: relaxation, deep breathing, and full body relaxation. Visualization. Students imagined themselves in calming, natural scenes like walking through a rose garden or feeling spring sunshine warming their skin. Return to normal. Slowly coming out of the meditative state and grounding back into their bodies. The process included something called scene immersion, where students fully entered the visualized scene, not just picturing it, but feeling it. The warmth, the colors, the textures. They were instructed to dissolve stress and distractions in the process, and then gently return. And here's what's so beautiful. That simple practice, done daily for just 30 minutes, was enough to reshape how the brain processes emotion. Let's step back for a second. We live in a world where our nervous systems are under near constant pressure. Social media, global news, relationship struggles, financial uncertainty, you name it. Many of us are in a near constant state of sympathetic arousal. That's the fight or flight mode. Practices like Qigong give us something different, a chance to downshift, to train the nervous system to respond rather than react. And this study offers brain-based evidence for what Qigong practitioners have long felt, emotionally and spiritually. Even better, this kind of change doesn't require expensive equipment, fancy studios, or hours of time. It simply takes commitment, breath, and intention. And that, to me, is empowering. So if you're wondering what to take away from this episode, it's this. Emotional reactivity is not fixed. Your brain is changeable. And Qigong is a tool for that change. If you practice Qigong regularly, whether it's movement-based or mind-based, what you're really doing is giving your brain and body new patterns to follow. Patterns of calm, patterns of clarity, patterns of resilience. Over time, these patterns take root. And as this study shows, even 4 weeks can make a difference. So tonight, instead of doom scrolling or watching TV until bed, what if you carved out 30 minutes? Sit quietly, breathe deeply, visualize something beautiful, and let your nervous system take a breath. Your brain and your heart might thank you. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this exploration into the emotional effects of Qigong, I invite you to check out the full review on our blog. You'll find the link in the show notes or in the bio. And if the Jade Dragon podcast has been helpful to you, I'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to leave a 5-star review. It helps others discover the show and supports the work of bringing ancient wisdom into the modern world. Until next time, breathe deep, stay grounded, and may your path be peaceful.